A special session is coming your way aimed at bringing tolls back to Connecticut. Right now on Face the State, we'll talk with Governor Ned Lamont, plus Senate President Martin Looney and House Minority Leader Themis Claridis. Also, it has made headlines for 2 weeks, the case of Jennifer Dulos. What is next? We'll talk with Ryan McGuigan, a former prosecutor and defense attorney. It's all straight ahead this Sunday morning, June 9th, 2019.
From Eyewitness News, Connecticut's most watched local political program, this is Face the State.
Good morning, everyone. We begin with what is next in the quest to return tolls to Connecticut. There was a big battle over them during the legislative session, but lawmakers did not take official action. With us today to talk about this is the man who will call a special session to talk about this, the governor of our great state, Ned Lamont. Governor Lamont, good to see you here in the program.
Dennis.
Are you disappointed that lawmakers did not handle tolls during the session?
It's not about tolls. It's about fixing our transportation system, making sure we get the state moving again. It's the #1 item of importance for every business leader I talk to. It's a question of then how do you pay for it? And the Republicans have said we've got a plan, prioritized progress. They want to pay for it through borrowing on the backs of the taxpayers with interest. And we have an alternate plan. It's a user fee collected via electronic tolling. 40% of the folks are out of state who pay that. And then we're going to figure out where is there a compromise so we can get this going. But we all agree we got to fix our transportation system, speed up our transportation system, and pay for it.
Why wasn't it handled during the regular session, though? Because a lot of people want to know, because these special sessions cost money.
Yeah. I think because it's a tough vote for legislators, and they don't really necessarily want to take a tough vote. And I've got to get them ready to step up and cast a vote. You know, there's a way we can reach a compromise. There are a lot of ways we can do this, but we got to do it. We got to fix our transportation system. You know, #1 I heard was balance your budget in an honest way, fiscal stability. And #2, speed up your transportation system. The two key things if you want to get the state growing again.
What kind of compromise do you think you're talking about in terms of, do you hope to get Republicans on board with a tolling system?
I'd love to get Republicans on board. And we're going to be sitting down with the leaders next week and see what they're willing to do. You just can't say no to everything, but tell me what you are willing to do. Is it a little bit of prioritized progress, a little bit of bonding, as well as some electronic tolling? We'll find a mix that makes sense.
When do you think this session will take place, and how long will it last? How many days?
Well, you know me. I always want to get it done yesterday, and everybody says, slow down, Governor. So I will let the legislative leaders give us a schedule. But for me, sooner rather than later. I mean, how much longer do you want to, you know, make up your mind and study this? Let's get going.
Do you see it as a one-day session, or will it last longer?
I think it's going to last longer. Look, they've got to do a few other things. We reached an amazing agreement with the hospitals. You may remember, Dennis, that there was they were suing us, and there was a real multi-billion-dollar risk to the state of Connecticut. That was like a black cloud hanging over the state. So we sat down with them, and through constructive negotiation have reached a deal which gets rid of the litigation and greatly reduces the cost to the taxpayers. And I thank the hospitals for being a good partner in this. That's something else we got to do. You can't all do that in one day.
A while back, the Commission for Economic Stability, which has a longer name than that, I'm just abbreviating it there, had called for to explore the possibility of a full-time legislature. Do you think Connecticut needs that, where things can get done all year round rather than just in these short sessions?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, the leadership and maybe some of the key committees you know, need some more time. You know, for them, it is almost a full-time job, and they don't really get compensated for it. But I think for, you know, the great group of people, most of the folks, we don't need a full-time legislature. I kind of like the fact that they are citizen legislators and have their foot in the real world.
Are you disappointed that sports betting and marijuana weren't addressed in this session? Or weren't handled?
Well, marijuana, you know, I think we could have moved on that, but it's complicated. Massachusetts has done it. Illinois just passed it. It'll take some time for catch up, but it's not, you know, that important as a priority to get the state growing again. Sports betting, look, we got to work out our deal with the tribes, and it's got to be part of a global resolution. And so sports betting is going to come. Our neighbors are beginning to do it. We're not going to get left behind.
The Bridgeport Casino has been talked about for some time, and it came up just recently when Mayor Joe Ganim suggested it. Do you foresee, you have 3.5 years left in your term, do you foresee a Bridgeport Casino opening during that period?
I think so. I think there's going to be a resort gaming down there. I've said to the people of Bridgeport, I think that's important, and that'll be part of the deal. But it's going to be part of something we do, statewide. So we deal with the tribes, we honor our covenant, our compact with them, figure out what we're doing in East Windsor as well as Bridgeport, and then sports betting and internet will be all part of that. It's not a big piece of our future, but it's something that's going to happen in the next couple of years.
Do you think the tribes will be involved in the Bridgeport Casino?
We'll see. I think so.
What else would you like to tackle in this special session?
I think the other thing we're going to be doing is the bonding bill. And as I tell people, we've got to deal with transportation. If we go with prioritized progress and put $750 million a year into our bonding package, one of two things happen. Our bonding goes through the roof and it costs us billions in additional debt, or we bond a lot less, meaning less money for schools and affordable housing. Or alternatively, if we do a tolling and we do it all as part of the Special Transportation Fund, then we know what the bonding bill is going to look like. We know we got the money for schools and affordable housing as well as transportation.
Pretty much everyone who comes in here, lawmakers and experts, and I'll ask them how are things going at the Capitol, and they say they like dealing with Governor Lamont because of your affable personality, that you're likable. And I'm wondering, when you hear these polls where your approval rating is low, how does that make you feel on an emotional level?
Oh, I don't care.
You don't care at all?
I really don't. I mean, I'm here to do some tough stuff. And let's face it, Hartford's been not doing the tough stuff for an awful long time. And we inherited a $3.5 billion deficit. We have a $100 billion unfunded pension liability. And our roads and bridges are structurally falling. And we got to do better on that. So I'm asking people to, eat their lima beans. We got to do some tough stuff. And if I do the right thing and I can convince the legislature to step up and do the right thing, everything's going to work out.
How would you grade your performance so far?
I've been a student. Nobody's ever asked me to grade my own performance, but Matt Ritter gave me a pretty good grade, and he's a smart guy.
Do you think you've done a good job?
I think we've done okay. Look, we had a really important session. We got an honestly balanced budget on time with no gimmicks, without raising tax rates. We had to hold the line on spending. That was not easy. We got that done. And we've done a lot of important things. I mean, everybody talks about the minimum wage and paid family and medical leave. How about 5G? How about the fact that we've cleared all the obstacles out so Connecticut could be the first state in New England with high-speed internet for our cities and our small towns. So we have faster internet access in Brooklyn, Connecticut than you have in Brooklyn, New York. So there are a lot of bills that people aren't focused on that are really important that we got done.
A very busy summer ahead for Governor Lamont and lawmakers as a special session looms. All right, Governor Lamont, thanks so much for being with us here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. When we come back, we will talk with Themis Claridis and Martin Looney about this special session. Later in the program, the story everybody's talking about. We welcome you to watch past editions of Face the State right here on our YouTube channel or our app.